Hello, my name is Thea Hendricks. We are requesting that you acknowledge the Right to Rest Act by having a safe place for homeless people to reside where they are not being harassed. End to the homeless sweeps and raids in the city that take away things that the homeless community needs for survival, blankets, medication, so forth. Provide a safe location for homeless individuals and cars to park and restrooms to use. Me being homeless, I have to tell you guys the way that things are being done. You guys turn the homeless into victims and criminals, I'd have to say. Personally, at one point I was sleeping in my car on a very hard night, and I had to leave my windows down. I had a young man approach me and try to crawl in my car. And I wasn't parked in a dark lot. I wasn't parked in a dark street. I was parked on the street where I could be seen. And your officers just kept driving by my car while I was trying to get this man off of my car. You know, that's all I gotta say. Have a nice day.
Hernandez?
Good evening, Mayor Wright and members of the Antioch City Council. Thank you for having me for the 3 minutes here. I'm Leonard Hernandez. Oh, there we go. I'm Leonard Hernandez, and I'm director of the Oakley Foundation and Homeless Advocates of Contra Costa County. I work a lot in all of the areas around here, helping out the homeless, counseling them, clothing them, getting them groceries, driving them to doctor's appointments, the welfare office for phones, etc. So I help quite a bit. I've done it for many, many years, and I was with Helping Hands years ago in Pittsburgh, back in the 90s, I think it is. But as my friends have requested also, if we could acknowledge the right for the Rest Act to having a safe place for these people to stay. They're always running, and they're always going to different places and losing their bedding and clothing and all that. So we come along, we have to help them replace it, and a lot of times I've been actually taken them home and let them bathe and done their laundry for them and stuff like that. I'm pretty trustworthy, and everybody so far has been very good. Also, if we could end the sweeps and the raids in the city and try somehow, some way to protect them rather than, go after them, and a place where they could park their cars, keep the area clean where their cars are. That's the biggest thing. Kenny Rickner, the shower guy on Saturdays, he goes through and he picks up garbage, and we're trying to figure out where we could do even more of that. But a lot of times you go in there, you try to pick up their garbage, and they have this hoarding kind of mentality type of thing. A lot of them are very clean. And down to 6th and A Street, where I do my ministry every Saturday and Sunday, I'm down there and I bring clothes and everything, and they come in there and they help. They're willing to help, and they're willing to work. So I don't know, maybe we could do some kind of a city program where they could help clean up the sidewalks and the gutters and whatever could work, but they need protection, and a lot of them, they say the drugs and the alcohol. Yeah, there are some that have those problems, but we have down there at the field, we have kids, we have elderly people that is just so sad to see. They can't pay rent. And a lot of people that we get that are probably like our age, they lived with their parents for many years. The parents died. The parents never got them on their feet, taught them how to live. So we got a problem. So we got to work together. And hopefully with the budget, if there's some money available that maybe we could work with it, I'd be more than willing to help. I volunteer everything, and I donate a lot of my own money and stuff like that. So anyway, thank you. Thanks for listening to me. Okay?
Thank you.
It's me again. Mayor, City Council, thank you for allowing me to speak. As a director of urban outreach here in Antioch, I would like to say that my nonprofit supports all people from all different walks of life. And I'm thankful that the city raised the pride flag. We've come a long way since the city that I know when I moved here when I was 8 years old. So I won't back down from that, and I won't. Urban outreach doesn't take part in any type of hate or discrimination. So back to my card here. We're calling for the city to provide safe permit parking and acknowledge the 2018 Right to Rest Act. This would be beneficial for the people that are episodically homeless, that can, once, they work, they are misplaced from this rent crisis, and they are finding periodic places to park their car that may or may not be safe. These are people with families and children. This will allow them to not only be safe, but find a place to live sooner than later. It will keep them from being episodically homeless to chronically homeless. This is very, very important. And I know the city does not like people living in RVs, but I have noticed a couple fancy ones down there at Smith Landing spending a couple nights. So if they can spend a couple nights with a safe place to park, so can the homeless. It just has to be regulated. And the city of Oakland, with the nonprofit Bay Area Community Services, is showing us just that. So the city of Antioch needs to take a passive approach and get away from their clipboards that just say no, 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 and start discussing the way that we can combat this crisis, or it's just going to get worse. We're already at crisis levels, and we don't have an emergency response, and we can't lean on the county because they'll fail us, and they're failing us right now. So it's about time that the city of Antioch pulls themselves up by the bootstraps and do something that's a little rogue, do something different. We could be an example for lots of communities that are lost in this crisis. So it's about time. Thank you.
Nicole Gardner, followed by Thea Hendricks.
Okay, thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Nicole Gardner, the director of the nonprofit Facing Homelessness. Mayor Wright, I sat here during the last city council meeting and saw you say yes to the vote to raise the pride flag when from your explanation you clearly did not agree with it. You kind of babbled going back and forth. You seemed to just do what the majority of the people in the room wanted you to do, which in my eyes does not make you a good leader. Although I personally didn't really care if the flag went up or not, my passion calls for me to fight for another cause. I would have respected you more for voting for what you believed in and voted no. This tells me that once again you have shown that you can't be a leader but a follower. A leader would be the one to say no because he thinks it's best for the citizens in his city, even if everyone else disagreed. A leader would stand up to the county, who you all say is responsible for building the shelter and homeless resources, to get them to get the funding our city needs to help our homeless community. A leader would tell his code enforcement and abatement teams to knock it off and stop illegally taking homeless people's blankets, tents, clothes, and shoes, things they need for survival when your city has nowhere for them to go. A leader would have a safe place for his homeless residents to sleep and set aside a location where homeless individuals can safely park their cars at night. I'm just curious to know if you have even made any proposals to the council regarding different policies or efforts to help our homeless community. I'm curious to know if you have any ideas on how to help with this crisis, or are you just going along with what everyone else says and does? I am totally confused. I really am. Now, is it you who is in charge, or is it the abatement teams or code enforcement? Are you the leader of Antioch, or is it the community members that think that being homeless is a crime? I am just lost, because it seems like no one is telling these people to stand down. No one is telling them that not all homeless people are drug addicts. No one is telling them that the city must follow the Right to Rest Act by not making homeless people move off public property when there is nowhere else in the city to go. I'm still trying to figure out where the leader of Antioch has been. I'm hoping it's not just at fundraising events calling homeless people drug addicts. I still haven't seen a public apology to the entire community, not just the protesters that give you a hard time. I still haven't seen you go out like your other colleagues have done to introduce yourself to the homeless community or to visit with people who serve the homeless community. Seems like our leader is missing in action when it comes to doing the right thing, but fully available when it comes to spreading lies and causing division just to get reelected. If I am wrong, then please prove me wrong and lead the city. Thank you.